Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Abdullah Rashid Ashwani, student ID VMC3017, and I'm going to speak about the introduction of ASIC versus Casamatis. Storm was the company which was established by Emmanuel Casamatis along with his wife Julie. The company was a private corporation. The only directors at the corporation Storm were Mr. and Mrs. Casamatis. They held all the shares of the company, and Australian Securities Investment Commission (ASIC) instigated the proceedings aligned with both Mr. and Mrs. Casamatis in the Australian Federal Court. It alleged that the two directors had contravened their duty of care and diligence as the directors of the Corporation Storm under the Section 181 of the Corporations Act 2001. ASIC forwarded its case based on the allegations that both Mr. and Mrs. Casamatis breached the Section 181 of the Corporations Act as they allowed the company Storm to present advice to the particular investors as per the Storm model. This had caused the Storm to contravene or breach the several sections of the Corporations Act, including the 945A1. This is my part, and my group mate is going to continue with the presentation. Thank you.
Hi, this is Abdul Sheikh. My student ID is GIB304. Before me, one of my classmates just discussed about the earlier topic. Now I'm just doing my topic, breach of duties and responsibilities in that case. The most important, the breach of several duties and responsibilities happened in that case. The first of all, the most significant breach, which was the breach of duties and responsibilities and diligence under the Section 1801 of the Corporation Act 2001. The Section 1801 of the Corporate Act 2001 is responsibilities which of the technical level of the care which is expected by the reasonable person if he is the director of organization in the similar circumstances in that time. The hands both of the directors, including Mr. and Mrs. Casamatis, and convented the Section 1801 of the Corporation Act as the duty of the permit Storm to the offer advise specific investors as per the Storm model, which resulted on the convention of the duties under CA 001. In addition, Mr. and Mrs. Casamatis also attempt to expose the Storm to the danger of them, I would even greater than the one of this, where they breached by duties in the care of delegates under the Corporation Act a year and Breathwell 1995. The second part of that code and this topic, secondly, Mr. and Mrs. Casamatis breached the Section 945A B and 945A1 section of the Australian Corporation Act 2001. The Section 945A, the one determines that the financial services license like Storm should not provide advice to the client if having the regard the obtaining information from the client relevant of their personal circumstances, or if the option is correct or accurate up to the customers. That's my part of this assignment. One of my other friend will continue this topic. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Malroy Kanaika. My student ID number is ENA3300. I'm going to present to you the analysis of the decision of the tribunal of the case. My previous colleagues have given the introduction and the breach of duties and responsibilities of the firm. Now, let me start with the analysis. The decision of the case was given by Elderman J. The test for the case and diligence duty was decision in IPPJ in Risakis versus Australian Securities and Investment Commission 1993. The foreseeable risk of the harm did not confine to financial harm. The standard of the care for director depends upon the circumstances of the company and director's position. Furthermore, Mr. and Mrs. Casamatis submitted that Section 181 does not apply to the directors of sole shareholder or solvent company. But Alderman J rejected the claim and submission of Mr. and Mrs. Casimet, claiming that the interest of the organization includes the interest of the shareholders as held by Alderman J. Thank you, and my other colleagues will continue with the presentation.
Hi, my name is Manita Reddy June. My student number OWL 3039. Today I am discussing some laws about analysis of the decision of tribunal. First law is Edelman J held in the decision that Strom had committed contraventions of the section 9451B and the section 945C of Corporation Acts. Mr. and Mrs. Casimetis should not reasonably be pardoned from this contradiction under section 1317S as held by Edelman J. Edelman J determined that Mr. and Mrs. Casimetis had acted honestly. The next slides are discussed by my friend.
Hi, I am Ramesh Vijay Sundara. My student number is ENE3307. Before I conclude this presentation, I would like you to present the analysis of the last part, which is all about the tribunal decision. So the Edelman J determined that the mistake by Mr. and Mrs. Casimet was honest and negligent. He held that the Mr. and Mrs. Casimet breached their duties of care, diligence under the section of 181 of Corporation Act. Breach of duties was quite severe and the conduct shouldn't be excused. So the case was favored to HI6027M. As a conclusion of this presentation, Edelman J gave the right decision in this case. Mr. and Mrs. Casimet breached the provision of Corporation Act. They breached several sections of the Corporation Act. It include 181, 945A1 and B, and also the section 945A1 and C of the Corporation Act. So they acted carelessly and exposed Storm to significant harm. So the decision was good, and it's really important for the directors to be responsible of their work. Thank you very much for listening our presentation.